All right, let's dive into this explainer on navigating the legal and financial steps of getting married in Michigan. Think of me as your personal wedding concierge for the next few minutes. We're going to look right past the flowers and the catering to focus on the real nuts and bolts, the essential framework that makes your union officially recognized by the state. Whether you're a lifelong Michigan resident or you're traveling from out of state for a beautiful destination wedding, understanding this process is absolutely critical. But hey, before we get completely bogged down in all that heavy paperwork, let's just take a quick second to celebrate the real theme here, marriage, and the incredible journey ahead of you. It is super easy to get lost in the administrative weeds, but at the end of the day, this is about two people coming together to start a brand new chapter. That being said, to actually get to the happily ever after, we do have to cross a few administrative finish lines first. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. Applying for your lessons. 2. Navigating the waiting period. 3. Who can actually officiate. 4. Name changes and records. And 5. Future planning and taxes. Let's kick things off with part 1, applying for your license. Right off the bat, you absolutely need to know exactly where to apply based on your residency, because the rules here are strictly divided. If one or both of you are Michigan residents, you have to apply in the county where you live. And the great news? Once you have that license in hand, you can get married anywhere within the state. It's totally flexible. However, if neither of you lives in Michigan, you must apply in the specific county where the ceremony is going to take place, and your license is only valid in that one single county. Either way, at least one of you, and sometimes both, depending on the specific county's rules, will need to show up in person at the clerk's office. Now, when you actually head down to the clerk's office, you've got to come armed with the right paperwork. And I mean physical paper. Don't just show up with digital copies on your phone because they literally will not accept them. You both need to be 18, though 16 and 17-year-olds can actually apply if they have custodial parental consent. You're going to need government-issued picture ID to prove your residency, certified birth certificates to prove your age and parentage, and your physical Social Security cards. Oh, and if either of you were married before, you absolutely must bring a certified copy of your judgment of divorce or a death certificate. Seriously, double-check your folders before you leave the house. Applying for this license isn't just checking boxes on a standard form. This carries intense legal gravity. It is a sworn affidavit. You are legally swearing, under penalty of perjury, that you are eligible to marry and that all the information you provided is accurate. Yes, even the spelling of your parents' maiden names. So, for sure, double-check your spelling and verify all your facts before you sign on that dotted line. Moving right along to part 2. Navigating the waiting period. 33. You have exactly 33 days from the date of your application to actually say, I do. It creates a pretty strict window for your ceremony. See, there's a mandatory 3-day waiting period from the moment you apply before you can even pick the license up. So the absolute earliest you can get married is day 4, and the license officially expires on day 33. It's like a giant ticking clock. If you miss this window, you literally have to start the entire process over again. And hey, impatience comes with a price tag. While the standard application fees are wonderfully low, we're talking just $20 for Michigan residents and $30 for out-of-state applicants, rushing the process is going to cost you. If you need to waive that mandatory 3-day wait, you'll be hit with extra fees ranging anywhere from $35 up to $80, depending on the county. Need after-hours assistance from the clerk? Boom, that might be another $75. But here's the kicker. You can't always just throw money at the problem to skip that 3-day wait. If you're in a rush, certain counties like Ottawa require hard physical proof to grant a waiver. You'll need to show things like a notarized statement from your clergy, military deployment papers, a newspaper announcement, or a professional wedding invitation. And they are super strict about this. A computer-generated invite that you just printed at home, yeah, that won't cut it. Which brings us to part 3. Who can actually officiate? Michigan law is actually really broad when it comes to who can legally pronounce you married. It allows everyone from your local mayor, as long as they're within their specific county, to district court magistrates, federal judges, county clerks, and of course, ordained ministers or clerics to officiate your big day. But honestly, the coolest part is how incredibly accessible it is to have a loved one officiate. If your best friend or a family member wants to marry you, they can easily get ordained online through an organization like the Universal Life Church. It's completely free, it's legally valid statewide, and amazingly, they don't even have to register with any Michigan government office prior to performing the ceremony. They just need to be 18 years old and properly sign the marriage license. It's a real game changer for personalizing your ceremony. Now, just to keep things completely legally crystal clear, while the state is super chill about who officiates, they are entirely rigid about who you can actually marry. Michigan explicitly lists the relatives you cannot legally wed. This includes parents, grandparents, siblings, half-siblings, and step-parents. So you can safely cross your first cousin off the potential spouse list. That is strictly prohibited by state statute. All right, let's look at part 4, name changes and records. You know, despite a lot of longstanding traditions, changing your name is entirely optional. It's completely up to you. Furthermore, there is absolutely no legal time frame in Michigan dictating when it must be done after the ceremony. You can do it the week after your honeymoon, or you could wake up 5 years down the road and decide to do it then. It is entirely on your own schedule. But if you do decide to change your name, whether you're taking your partner's name or hyphenating, it is a very specific sequential process. You can't just skip around. Step 1, you must obtain a certified copy of your marriage license from the county clerk. Pro tip here, the copy they hand you right after the ceremony is usually not certified. Step 2, take that certified copy, along with your birth certificate and current ID, straight to the Social Security Administration to update your legal name. And step 3, once Social Security is updated, take all those documents to the Michigan Secretary of State to get your brand new driver's license or state ID. And finally, let's wrap up with part 5, future planning and taxes. This is where things get really practical for your new life together. Thanks to some recent legislation, specifically Senate Bill 209, there are some fantastic household tax benefits that newly formed families should definitely leverage as they blend their finances. For instance, if either of you are totally and permanently disabled veterans, you can now deduct income from canceled student loans. There are also specific deductions regarding grant money received for broadband expansion. But the absolute biggest perk for many newlyweds, the deduction for first-time homebuyer savings accounts. $10,000. That is a massive financial benefit. That's the maximum joint filer tax deduction limit for contributions to a first-time homebuyer savings account under this new bill. If you file as a single person, the limit is only $5,000, but by marrying and filing jointly, a newlywed couple saving for a house can shelter up to $10,000 of their income from state taxes as they build up that down payment. It is a huge win. So understanding this whole administrative journey really empowers you to seamlessly transition into married life, leaving you fully prepared to tackle all the exciting milestones ahead without getting tripped up by state red tape. From knowing exactly what documents to bring to the clerk, to tracking that strict 33-day timeline, to taking advantage of those joint tax deductions, you are now armed with the knowledge you need. So, what is your next immediate step? Are you going to start digging for those original birth certificates, or maybe call up a friend about getting ordained online? Whatever it is, you are totally ready to conquer it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and here's to a brilliantly organized start to your marriage.